Pranams, everybody. Welcome to week number 3 of the Bhagavad Gītā study group, based on the lectures and transcripts of Swami Paramarthananda. Today's lecture is a revision on the Gītā Dhyana shlokas, and it's also the bridge into the official beginning of chapter 1. Today is not a intense session. We're just reviewing the Dhyana shlokas, a few little ideas and some bits and pieces to go through. So rather than going with the live format that lasts for 1 hour, today I'm going to try and get this video put onto YouTube, and it will probably go for 20 or 30 minutes if we put some revision on the end. There's not a lot to go over, because there's not a lot of philosophy or ideas to understand with these shlokas. It's simply understanding the key ideas behind the shlokas, so that when we chant them, we can have a bit of an idea of what we're saying. That's all. So that's all this is for. Alright, so having said that, I'll get into the lecture. So Bhagavad Gītā, lecture number 3, Gītā Dhyana shlokas, and the bridge to chapter 1. The yoga of preparation. So we'll be navigating the Dhyana shlokas and seeing that bridge that I mentioned into chapter 1. We'll be seeing why we chant these 9 Gītā Dhyana shlokas, who we're saluting when we're doing it, and then chapter 1 is diagnosing the human problem. Okay? So the Namaskara sequence. In the Gītā Dhyana shlokas, there's a sequence. We're doing Namaskaram to 4 things across 9 shlokas. And that is the Mahabharatam itself, or Bharata itself. Bhagavad Gītā, which is a part of that Mahabharatam. And we revere the Bhagavad Gītā as Mother Saraswati herself. Okay? Vyasacharya is the author of the Gītā, and he is viewed as an incarnation of Vishnu. So we give him some namaskarams. And then I think it was 4 or 5 of the shlokas go to Krishna himself, the Jagat Guru who is teaching Arjuna, and consequently all of us. And in verse number 3, when referring to Krishna, they call him the Prapanna Parijataya. Okay? So this Parijata it's a mythological tree that's in the heavens. So that's what Krishna does. So he's compared to the Prapanna Parijata. So for all of those who surrender to him, Prapanna, he gives any desire. And in the shlokas, Krishna is depicted to be charioteering, so driving the charioteer with one hand. And in his offhand, he's holding the whip, and in the other hand, he steers the car. Okay? So this shows that Krishna is not above any sort of role or duty, because he, who is the controller of the entire universe, steps down and drives and steers for simply Arjuna. And he doesn't find any problem with that. He sees that's his dharma, he sees that's his duty, that's what needs to be done, and so he does that. So Krishna, the Lord of the universe, is working for Krishna and directing him around as his charioteer. So he's driving. While he's driving with one hand, Krishna uses the other hand to show the Jnana Mudra or the Chin Mudra. So I'll just bring that up actually. Chin Mudra, in case nobody knows what that is. So it's this one. It's this one here, is more specifically. Chin Mudra. See where the finger and they're touching here. Okay, so this is what he was doing with one of his hands. Jnana Mudra, Chin Mudra. Now this is actually a map of our existence because 3 of the fingers represent the gunas, so sattva, rajas and tamas. They can also be seen to represent the 3 bodies, sthula, sukshma and karana sharira. Okay? And the index finger, which represents the jivatma, is naturally associated with the 3 material fingers. This is the state of limitation, okay? So spiritual sadhana is the flip. We have to detach the jivatma from the 3 gunas and attach it to the paramatma, which is the thumb. So when the individual joins the Supreme, it forms a circle representing Purnam or completeness. There is no beginning and there is no end. So this is a powerful mudra for meditation as well. Very nice, very beautiful depiction. We have the expansion of duty. Okay, so in verse 5, there's 3 levels of greatness that are explained. So in the story, some focus on only the family while ignoring society or vice versa. True duty has to expand. Okay, so the point is Krishna's greatness gets shown at 3 levels. At the family, he's the son of Vasudeva and he's the joy of Devaki. Okay, he's destroying the adharmic threats like Kamsa and Chanura. And he's serving as the Jagat Guru by giving the Gītā to all the future generations. So Krishna is operating at multiple levels. First he starts with the family and then to society and then to the world. Okay, so he extends himself out that way, and so should we. We should start with our family. We should start with our family duties and keeping the family in order. And once we have that, then we can extend to start to help society. Once we're helping society and that's good, then we can extend further out, help the world, help all living beings. Okay, so that's how this is being depicted here. So some hidden traps, the banks and the blue lotus. Just as the rivers have features that determine its course, so different shapes and things like that determine the course of the river, the war river had powerful warriors who were determining the direction. Bhishma and Drona were the banks that decided the direction of the war. So King Shakuni is the Nilotapala, the blue lotus. So Nila, here, that's Nila. Utpala. A blue lily is attractive, but it hides slush underneath it where you get trapped. He represents the most deceptive dangers that we face. The predators and the whirlpools. So the things that drag us down. The river is filled with specific threats. There's sharks or crocodiles, there's the undercurrent, and the turbulent waves. So these shlokas describe this undercurrent as kripa. There's sharks and crocodiles, or it's like a sea serpent, is shalya, and the force, the wave itself was karna. And the point is that Duryodhana, as the Avartini, the whirlpool, just like the Bermuda Triangle, he is the eddy where everything disappears. And then we have the skillful boatman. So when all the doors are closed, the Pandavas were in a feeble catamaran against these sharks and these whirlpools, and humanly it's not possible to cross. But they succeeded because of their skillful boatman. Kaivartakaha, Lord Krishna. The takeaway for every Artha Purusha, so every person who's going through this torment or turmoil period, when all the doors are closed, remember, all the doors are not closed. And in verse 8, the impossible is made possible. Verse 8 tells us that by the Lord's grace, the dumb become eloquent and the cripple crosses a mountain. So while effort is required, it's kripa or grace that provides the strength to climb. The Lord is the Sarva Shaktiman who can silence the loud or give an Olympic champion's strength to the handicapped. So then they reframe the struggle. For a student, the mountain is not a physical one. It is the Gītā study itself. It is 700 verses to complete, and it does seem like an overwhelming task. It's long, it's arduous, but it's worth it. Don't feel diffident about the length or difficulty. We start with these prayers because we need the Lord to adjust the uncontrollable factors so that we can completely and successfully finish this study. Okay, so that's what the prayers are for. We're acknowledging how big this undertaking is, and we're asking for some good luck, basically, to get through this and to get it done complete and thorough without interruptions and in this birth. And in verse number 9, beyond time and space, the Lord is glorified through divine hymns and complex Vedic chanting styles like Pada, Krama, Jata, and Gana. Okay? So we must understand that God is not just a person that we're praying to, because if God were just a person, he would have a spatial limitation, and there would be a time limitation. A real Bhagavan is limitless and all-pervading. So the minute that we say God is here or God is in heaven or God is there, we've limited God to that area. An all-pervading God can't be in one area. He has to be the areas. He has to be the things in the areas himself. Same for a time limitation. If you say he's here, you're slicing time and you're saying this is the part of time that he is in. Okay, so we're limiting God if we do these things. So then it starts to bridge us into chapter 1. It starts to diagnose and introduce samsara. Now, it's worth noting that chapter 1 is not the official beginning of the Gītā Upadesha. The teachings of the Gītā don't start until chapter 2, verse 11, bold. So that's where the Gītā actually starts. Up until then, all of chapter 1 and the first 10 verses of chapter 2 is all diagnosing samsara and introducing us to the problem. Okay? So Gītā chapter 1 will be an introduction to the problem. From chapter 2, verse 11 onwards, we have the remedy. Okay? So the problem that's going to be diagnosed is called samsara or bhavaroga. And the remedy is called moksha. So, not a lot of detail there on the slides, guys. I'm just going to go over the actual Gītā Dhyana shlokas now with the translations underneath them with Swami chanting. And then I'll do some flashcards, and that'll be the end of the lectures for today.
ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे फुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयः प्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः।
So we can see there, Prapannaparijataye Totravetraikapanaye Jnanamudraya Krishnaya. Jnanamudraya. Okay, so these are the words that we've just gone over. I probably won't pause it again. I just wanted to show you guys that these words that we're looking at, Prapannaparijataye, that was in number 3, there it is. Okay, so that's the tree. There's the Jnana Mudra. Krishna. Gītā Amrita, the nectar of the Gītā. Namaha, Namaskarams. So all of these things that were there, we can see them in the shlokas here. So Sarva Upanishado, that's Sarva Upanishad. It says all the Upanishads. The milker is Krishna, Gopala's joy, Gopala Anandaha. Okay, so all of these are here. So I don't expect you guys to be able to recognize it and to be able to read the shlokas, but if in shloka 3, when it says Prapanna Parijataya, you can picture the tree that gives everything, and when it says Jnana Mudraya, you can picture the Jnana Mudra the Chin Mudra, then that's good. That's fine. So I just wanted to point that out.
सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरणनदी कैवर्तकः केशवः पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटं नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधनाबोधितं लोके सज्जनषट्पदैरहरहः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयाद्भारतपङ्कजं कलिमल प्रध्वंसिनः श्रेयसे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः।
So, a very, very, very nice and short Gītā Dhyana Shlokas audio there for you by Swami Paramarthananda himself. I hope you guys could recognize a few of the words. That's it for today. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Hari Om.